Let me tell you something about people who hide their pain behind humor. They're the ones who make you laugh the hardest, but if you look close enough, you can see it. A flicker in the eyes, a hesitation before the punchline, a sadness that lingers between the words. They've mastered the art of disguise. They turn their wounds into wit, their heartbreak into timing, their sadness into stories that make everyone else feel better. Because when they can make people laugh, it feels like, for a moment, the room doesn't hurt as much. Psychologists call this self-defeating humor. It's when people use comedy not just to entertain others, but to protect themselves, to mask vulnerability with charm, to control pain by turning it into something palatable. It's not manipulation, it's survival. You see, humor gives them control. If they can joke about it first, no one else can use it to hurt them. If they make light of their trauma, it becomes something they can carry, something they can laugh at, instead of being crushed by. These are the people who say, "I'm fine," with a grin that convinces almost everyone. They're the life of the party, the friend who lifts others up, the one who always has the perfect comeback. But when the laughter fades and the room goes quiet, they often feel the emptiness echo louder than before. Because humor doesn't erase pain, it only hides it for a while. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "We have art so that we do not die of the truth." For these people, humor is their art. It's their way of making truth survivable. They laugh at what they can't fix. They joke about what broke them. They use irony to talk about things that are still too raw to say sincerely. That's why their jokes are often the sharpest, because behind every laugh is something they've already cried about. Psychologically, this kind of humor is a defense mechanism, a way the brain tries to regulate unbearable emotion. It's a form of what Freud called reaction formation, turning pain into its opposite to make it tolerable. They don't deny their suffering, they just reframe it. They translate it into something lighter so they can keep moving through the heaviness. But that translation has a cost, because when you constantly joke about your pain, people stop believing you can actually hurt. They laugh, and in that laughter, your suffering disappears. You'll notice something about them if you pay attention. They change the subject when things get too real. They joke when someone asks how they're doing. They use laughter to escape vulnerability because being serious feels dangerous. Maybe they grew up in a home where crying got you punished, or where emotions were too much. Maybe the only way to survive was to make the people around you comfortable, even if it meant betraying your own feelings. So now, when pain comes up, they don't know how to sit with it. They turn it into a punchline. It's not because they're shallow, it's because they learned early that pain only feels safe if it's funny. Gabor Maté, who writes about trauma and authenticity, once said, "When you shut down emotion, you're also shutting down the capacity for joy." That's the quiet tragedy of those who hide behind humor. They can make others laugh easily, but they rarely let themselves feel deeply. Their laughter is genuine, but it's also protective. It's both a bridge and a shield. It connects them to people and keeps people from getting too close at the same time. They joke about heartbreak, but they're still bleeding inside. They laugh at loneliness, but they ache for someone who can see through the act. It's why comedians are often some of the saddest people in the world. Robin Williams once said, "I think the saddest people always try their hardest to make people happy, because they know what it feels like to feel absolutely worthless, and they don't want anyone else to feel that way. That's the essence of it. Their humor isn't fake, it's empathy in disguise. They make others laugh because they can't stand the idea of anyone else feeling what they've felt. Their kindness comes from pain. Their timing comes from trauma. Their lightness comes from a place that was once unbearably dark. But here's what few people realize. Behind all that humor, there's often a deep yearning to be seen, not as the funny one, not as the entertainer, but as someone who hurts too. They crave a space where they don't have to perform, where their sadness doesn't ruin the mood, where their tears don't make people uncomfortable. They want to be loved, not for how well they hide it, but for how bravely they feel it. Because psychologists say that emotional healing begins the moment we allow pain to exist without disguising it. But for people who hide behind humor, that feels terrifying. It feels like stepping onto a stage without a script. Because humor gives them predictability, a way to control how others respond. Raw emotion doesn't. It's messy, it's unpredictable, and that uncertainty feels unbearable to someone who's spent their whole life making things lighter for everyone else. So they keep performing, even in therapy, even with people they trust. They joke about their trauma as if it's just another funny story. But every now and then, there's a crack in the performance. A sigh too heavy, a joke that lands too hard, a silence that lingers just a moment too long. And in that moment, you can see it, the truth behind the laughter. People who hide their pain behind humor aren't liars, they're translators. They turn their grief into a language the world can listen to. Because if they said it plainly, if they showed you the real weight of it, you might turn away, and they've already been left too many times before. So they protect you from their sadness. They make it easier to digest. They hide it behind timing and tone. But what they're really saying is, please don't leave when I show you who I really am. But eventually, they reach a point where the laughter starts to feel hollow, where the jokes no longer comfort, where even the people they make laugh can't fill the silence after. That's when the healing begins, when they stop performing and start admitting, I'm not okay, and that's okay. Because humor can coexist with healing, but it can't replace it. If you're one of those people, the ones who make everyone laugh but cry in private, this is for you. Your humor doesn't make you fake. It makes you resilient. It means you found light in places where most would have drowned. But you deserve to be seen beyond your punchlines. You deserve a space where you can be quiet and still be loved. Because the truth is, you don't always have to make others happy to be worth keeping. You don't always have to be funny to be understood. You don't always have to turn pain into poetry. Sometimes you just get to feel it. Sometimes you just get to rest. And that is when laughter starts to heal instead of hide.